We're going to start in a laying down position. So we're just going to have our feet flat. Our arms are going to be long beside us, and we're going to start with a couple of pelvic curls. So we'll take your breath in to prepare. As you exhale, you're going to scoop in through the belly, tucking your tail under, squeezing through the hamstrings, squeezing through the back of the legs and the bottom, lifting up into a bridge. Inhale at the top, and then exhale as we lengthen out through the spine, slowly coming back down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale as we scoop. Curling the tail under, lengthening out through the lower back, lifting up into a bridge. Inhale at the top, and then exhale as we lengthen out, slowly coming back down. So as you do these ones, guys, I'll get you to keep going. I want you to think about pressing evenly through both feet, keeping both hip bones nice and level. And as you're moving through the position, really concentrate on moving as slow as you can and getting as much length between each vertebra as possible, relaxing at the bottom. Exhaling as we scoop and curl, warming up through the spine and the backs of the legs. And then exhale as we slowly come back down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale as we scoop, tilting that tail under, slowly curling up, rolling through the spine. Inhale at the top. Exhale as we lengthen, slowly coming back down. Alrighty, guys. On our next one, we're going to hold our bridge at the top. So we're going to lift those hips up. And from here, what we're going to do is we're just going to march. So we're going to lift our left leg up. We're going to lower it back down, keeping our hip bones nice and level. We're slowly going to bring the other leg up. So we're going to be slowly alternating sides. As we do these, I want you to really concentrate on making sure that your hips do not rotate. So the aim is to keep both hip bones nice and level and nothing shifts, only the leg that's slowly floating up and slowly coming back down. We've got 2 more each side here. So digging deep to those abdominals, keeping nice and strong with that leg that's on the mat. Slowly bringing that leg up and then slowly floating it back down. We've got 1 more on each side. Floating that right leg up nice and slow, then lowering it down, and then bringing that left leg up, and then floating it back down. Slowly bringing the legs back down, and just giving those knees a little hug in for a moment. A little rock from side to side. Alrighty. We're just going to take those arms out into a T position, and we're just going to have our legs in a tabletop position. We're going into spine stretch supine. So we'll keep the arms out nice and wide. We're going to inhale and gently let both knees gently fall across to the left-hand side of the room. We want to make sure that as we go across that you keep all your back ribs connected to the mat, and exhale as you scoop in through the middle, bring those legs back through center, and inhale as we slowly float your legs over to the right-hand side. So keeping your back ribs connected, getting that nice stretch through the spine, zipping it up through the middle, slowly coming back through center, back over to the left-hand side. So as you do these ones, guys, I want you to think about keeping your knees tight, your ankles tight, and your back ribs connected to the mat. Coming back through center. Inhale as we go to the right, stretching out through the spine. Exhale as we zip up and come back through to center. We're doing 1 more in each direction. So inhale as we take our legs over to the left-hand side. Exhale as we scoop and come back through center. 1 more to the right. And then exhale as we bring it back through. We're just going to bring our hands on top of our shins, and we're just slowly going to rock ourselves back up into a seated position. All right, we're going to go into an exercise called roll like a ball next. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up, you're going to have your knees together and your feet together, and your hands are just going to be on the top of your shins, just resting. We're going to have your tummy in nice and tight, and we're going to be nice and long through the back of the spine. So we're going to inhale, we're going to roll back onto the shoulders, and exhale, we're going to scoop in through the belly and rest up on top of the sits bones. Inhale, roll back, exhale, scoop and balance. Inhale, roll, exhale, scoop. We're here for 5 more. Just massaging out the spine. Last 4. Last 3. And balancing out. Last 2. And last 1. Rolling back and then resting up on top, keeping the tummy muscles in nice and tight. We're going to We're going to slowly come back down into a lying down position. We're going to stretch our arms up to the sky. So we're just going to do a little bit of shoulder blade work. So we're going to keep nice and long through the spine. Our hands are going to be directly, our palms facing each other, and our arms are nice and straight, and they're directly pointing up to the sky. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to inhale. We're just going to reach our arms forward, wrapping the shoulder blades around the rib cage. And exhale, we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades back and down, bringing the arms back down. So inhale, we're going to stretch your arms, reaching them as far forward as you can. And exhale, we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades back together, bringing the arms back down, keeping the elbows straight. Inhale, stretch and reach those arms forward. And then exhale as you bring it back down. We've got 3 more. Inhale as you stretch and reach. I want you to make sure that you're not rolling through your ribs as you do these ones. I want you to keep all your back ribs connected to the mat. We've got 2 more. Inhale, stretch. And then exhale, squeezing those shoulder blades down. Last one. Inhale and stretch. And then exhale and bring those shoulder blades back and down. So we're just going to take those arms up overhead, stretching out from your fingers to your toes. We're going to inhale. We're going to lift our arms up. Head is going to follow. And we're slowly going to curl up into a tall seated position. Hang on a second. Sorry guys, the vacuum just turned on. We will continue where we were. All right, so we're in a seated position. And what we're going to do from here is we're just going to scoop in through the belly, and we're slowly going to curl back down, taking the arms back overhead. Inhale as we lift up the arms, head and chest will follow, slowly, slowly, slowly coming back up to tall. And then we're going to slowly curl back down. So scooping in through the belly, lengthening out through the lower back, keeping nice and long through the back of the neck. Last 2, stretch the arms forward, lengthening through the back of the neck, scooping in through the belly, curling up, sitting up tall at the top. And then we're going to slowly curl back down, taking the arms back overhead. Last one, arms come up, head and neck will follow, head and chest will follow, coming back up to tall. And then exhale, scoop it in, and we're going to slowly curl back down. So we're going to stop here. We're going to hold, keep the chest lifted and the arms are forward. We're going to inhale, stretch the arms over, and exhale, bring the arms back down. So keeping digging nice and deep through those abdominals. So we're making sure we're lifting through the tummy and not from the neck. We want to keep a nice long position into the neck and soft under the chin. We've got our last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we can stretch all the way down. Just give those knees a hug in for a second. You should have felt nice warming up through the middle there. We're going to stretch those legs out long, arms up overhead. Inhale, lift. Exhale, scoop. Come back up to tall. So we're going to go into a second round of the overhead arms, but this time we're going to add a leg movement in. So we're going to just slowly curl back down, and we're going to just slow down. We're going to hold that chest lifted position. And this time, as we take the arms overhead, we're going to float one leg up and then lower down, and then the other leg. So we've got 5 each side, 4 each side to go. Digging nice and deep through those abdominals, making sure that those hips aren't rotated. We've got our last 3. Last 2. Whoops, bad counting. Now we've got our last 2. And we've got 1 more each side. Lifting, digging deep, and last 1. Lowering that leg down, lowering down, stretching all the way out, bringing those arms around, and just giving those knees a little hug in for a second. Beautiful work, guys. So we're going to come up into a tall position, seated position now. We're going to take our legs out. So the heels are just going to be off the edge of the corners of your mat. Our arms are going to be out in front. We're going to take a breath in to prepare. As you exhale, we're going to curl forward, rolling down, stretching out between the legs. And we're going to inhale as we slowly come back up. So exhale as we scoop, chin to chest, stretching forward. I want you to think about keeping your ankles flexed, so bring those toes towards your nose. And we're going to inhale as we slowly come back up. We've got 3 more. Exhale as we scoop and stretch. Stretching those arms forward, lengthening through the back of the leg, lengthening through the back of the spine. Inhale as we slowly restack. Last 2. Exhale as we curl and reach. Inhale as we slowly restack. On our last one, guys, we're going to stretch forward. When we get to the bottom, what we're going to do is we're going to slowly lengthen out through the spine. So we're growing tall, keeping that hinge at the hip. And from here, we're just going to go into some shoulder extensions. We're just going to lift the arms up. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just diving forward. Just letting the chest rest down at the bottom. And we're going to restack our spine back up. Alrighty. We're going to come back down into a lying down position. And we're going to do a little bit more abdominal work. So you have got the option to do this with your chest down, or you can do it with your chest lifted. So what we're going to do is you're just going to hug your left knee into your chest, and we're going to stretch your other leg out on a 45-degree angle. And from here, what we're going to do, we're going to dig nice and deep through the abdominals, and we're just going to change and change. So we've got our single leg stretch, nice and quick, alternating sides. So keeping nice and strong through those abdominals, making sure that there's no rotation through the hips. We've got 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're just going to take our hands behind our head and we're going into crisscross. So we're going to alternate sides, digging nice and deep through those abdominals, getting our opposite rib to hip. So we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Just hugging those knees in for a tick and having a little breather. We're going to move into the hamstring pull next. So for our next one, we're going to stretch our right leg out. We're going to stretch our left leg up to the sky. And from there, what we're going to do is we're just going to swap legs. So we're pulling in our right leg, stretching it up, and then swapping. So the legs stay nice and straight, and we're getting that little stretch up the back of the hamstring each time we swap. We've got 8 each side to go. 7. And just remember, you can do this laying down as well if you feel like your abdominals are starting to fatigue and you're starting to feel it into your neck. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. And just bring those knees in. Just have a little hug in at the bottom. Beautiful work, guys. All right. We're going to come back up into our seated position, and we're going to go into a bit of thoracic rotation and side bending. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit up nice and tall. Our heels are going to be onto the outside corners of our mat. Our ankles are flexed. We're going to place our hands behind our head. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to go into a rotation. So we're going to inhale, we're going to turn to the right-hand side of the room. Exhale, come back through to center. So we're going to add in a little pulse here. So it's 2 little pulses and then back to center. Inhale to the right, exhale back through. Inhale to the left, exhale back through. So when you do these ones, I want you to imagine like you're wringing your spine out like it's a sponge. So we've got our double pulse and then back to center. We've got 2 more each side. So inhale, exhale back to center. Inhale, grow tall and stretch. Exhale back to center. 1 more each side. And then last one. Actually, we've got one more to go. One more to the left and then back to center. All right. So from here, what we're going to do, we're going to start nice and tall and we're just going to go into a side bend. So we're just going to stretch over to the right-hand side and then come back up to center. And then we're going to stretch over to the left-hand side. So you want to get as much length through your waist as possible. So we're not crunching down, we're lengthening over to the side, alternating sides. Exhale, coming back up tall. So inhale as we stretch and get that nice side bend. Exhale as we come back up. Inhale as we stretch over. And then exhale as we grow tall. One more each side. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, back up. Alrighty. From here, guys, we're going to come into some side lying. So we're just going to set up, with our forearm. Actually, no. We're going to set up just with our head supported. Our bottom leg's going to be bent underneath, and you can use your top hand. You can place it, sorry, I'm not even on the mat. You can place your top hand either in front of you for support, or you can place it on top of your hip. From here, we're going to start with some side kicks. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking that leg forward and then taking it back behind. So stretching the leg forward and then back behind. So we want to concentrate on keeping our hips nice and stacked. We want to think about keeping your heel the same height as your hip and your knee. So we want to make sure that leg's not dropping down. We're not coming up too high. So keeping that same height. We're here for 5 more, 4 more, 3 more, last 2, and last 1. All right, we're going to bring that leg so it's in line with the body, and we're going into our side lifts. So we're lifting the leg up, controlling it back down, keeping nice and long through the waist, zipping up through those deep abdominals. So we've got our last 5, last 4, last 3, last 2, and last 1. Should be starting to feel a nice warming up into that bottom. From here, we're going to go into our circles. So we're going to keep our legs straight. We're going to take our leg up to begin with. It'll come forward, back, and around. So forward, back, and around. We're here for 7 more. Last 6, last 5. Making sure that the leg doesn't fall down, but it's a controlled motion down. Last 3, last 2, and last 1. Just having a little breather there for a tick. We've just got to go do our circles in the opposite direction. So this time we're going to take the leg back, out, and around. So back, out, and around. So we've got 10 here. Last 8, last 7, last 6, last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Just bringing that leg in. We're just going to have a lay down onto your back, just using that left hand on top of the knee, and we're just going to give that bottom a little stretch. So taking it across the body, stretching the other arm in the opposite direction away. Just taking a nice deep breath. All right. So just before we do the other side, we're just going to do a little bit of extension work. So we're going to have a lay down onto your tummy. We're going to have our hands just rested underneath your forehead. We're going to keep our nice and long through our spine, anchoring your hips to the mat, and we're just going to elevate our legs. From here, what we're going to do is we're just going to beat our heels together. So we're here for 20 seconds. So keeping nice and long through the spine, squeezing the backs of the legs nice and tight with the knees, beating those heels together. We've got our last 10 seconds. So keep those knees off the ground, keep that tummy on. We've got our last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. And just resting there for a second, getting your breath back. All right. For our second round, we're going to bring our arms down beside us, and we're going to add in a chest lift as we do our beats. So what we're going to do is we're just slowly going to lift our chest up. We're going to lengthen the legs away, and we're going to go for our beats again. So we've got 20 seconds again. So we're keeping that chest lifted and we're just beating those heels together. So we're keeping those hips anchored to the mat, lifting through your pelvic floor, drawing in through TAs. We've got our last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just resting down. All right, we have got one more round of beats. For our final round, we're going to take our arms overhead. We're going to stretch our legs long and we've got our beats. So for our last 20 seconds. So keeping nice and long through the spine, shoulder blades gliding down the back, reaching the arms forward. Last 10 seconds. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just resting back down there. We'll just stretch back into a child's pose. So big toes together, knees nice and wide, stretching the arms out in front and dropping the hips down, stretching out through the back. Beautiful work, guys. So slowly coming back up. We're going to do our side lying glutes on the other side. So just setting up onto the right-hand side. So nice and long through the spine, hips stacked and shoulders stacked, and you want as much length through the waist as possible. From here, we're just going to bring our leg up. So we're going to keep our heel, knee, and hip the same height. We're just going to be kicking that leg forward and then back. So keeping those hips stacked, keeping the tummy on, and keeping that leg the same height. So you want to keep that leg nice and tight. We've got our last 8 here. So you can use that left hand either in front to support you, or you can keep it on top of your hip just for feedback, just to feel to make sure that you're not rolling forward and back as you're moving through the movement. Last 3, last 2, and last 1. So bringing that leg back into center, we're going for our side leg lifts. So lifting that leg up, controlling it back down. Digging deep through those abdominals, keeping nice and long through the waist. So we want to make sure you're not crunching through the middle. We've got our last 5, last 4, last 3, 2, and 1. Just bring that leg in, having a rest there for a second. All right, we've got our circles to go. So we're going to start so the leg will come forward, up, back, and around. So we're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Just having a rest for a moment. We're going in our circles in the opposite direction. So we've got 10. So we're going back, out, and around. Last 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty, just bringing that knee in. We're going to have a lay down onto your back. We're going to take that left knee with your right hand, and we're just going to have a nice stretch across the body there. So stretching out through the bottom and then looking over in the opposite direction. Just enjoying that nice stretch. My butt is on fire. So we'll come back into center. We're just going to roll up. We're going to go into our front support position. So we're going to set up with our hands underneath your shoulders, and we're going to set up into a plank position. So we're going to be nice and strong under the armpit, nice and long through the back of the neck, and making sure that we're not dipping down through the back or sticking your bottom up into the air. So you want to keep those hips in line with the spine. And what we're going to do is we're just going to slowly slide one knee forward and then take it back. And then the other side. So slowly sliding the knee forward and taking it back. Now you do have the option to do this with your knees from the ground. So that is up to you where you'd like to go there. Do what you feel comfortable with those ones. So stretching forward and back. We're going to do one more each side. So stretching forward and then the other side. So we're going to hold that front foot support position. We're just going to push back Stretching out through the legs, back of the legs and the shoulders. And then we're slowly going to come back down and just rest the knees for a second. And coming back up into our front support position. This time we're going to stretch our right leg and we're going to do single leg lifts. So we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering that right foot back down, pushing back into our downward dog position, stretching out through the shoulders and the back of the legs. Back down to front support and resting those knees. Just for 1 second. Back to front support. Stretch your left leg out. So we've got 5 left leg lifts. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering that left leg down, pressing back up to our downward dog, stretching out through the back of the legs and the shoulders. Back down to front support. And we're just going to lower those knees, stretch the arms out in front. Just taking some nice deep breaths just for a moment. Alrighty, so just moving on to our next one. We're going to set up seated again. We're just going to do a little bit more abdominal work. So we're going to slowly curl down. We're going to set up, so we're just going to have our feet and knees together. Arms are going to be nice and long. So we're going to take a breath in to prepare. As you exhale, we're going to scoop in through the belly, floating the chest up. So we're going to be reaching the arms long. From here, we're just going to slowly float up our right leg and then lower it down. And then we're going to slowly float up our left leg. So we're just going to concentrate on here on making sure that the only thing that's moving is the leg. We want to make sure that there's no rotation through our hips. And we want to make sure that we're scooping in through the belly. So we want to make sure we're not pressing those abs out. We've got 5 more. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. And last 1. Beautiful. And then we're just going to slowly lower back down. Just give those knees a hug in for a moment. Okay, for our second round, we're going to add in some rotations with our chest. So we're going to curl back up. We're going to take our hands behind our head. So this time, as we float our left leg, we're going to rotate to the left-hand side. We're going to slowly float our left foot down, and then we're going to float up our right leg and rotate to the opposite direction. So inhale as we lower, exhale as we rotate. We've got 5 more each side. And then come back through center. Last 4. Concentrating on keeping those hips nice and level. Last 3. Last 2 each side. And second last one on that side, last 1 each side. And then coming back through to center, coming back down and hugging those knees into your chest. Beautiful work, guys. All right, so we're going to go into a second round of glute work. So we're going to come back into our slide lie position. So for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to, you can set up with your, you can have your arms stretched out underneath, or you can have your head supported. Your right hand can go either on top of your hip or just in front of your hips there, and the legs are going to be stretched long. So what we're going to do is a double leg lift. So we're slowly going to stretch our legs up, lifting through the waist, and then slowly bring them back down. So what we're looking for with this exercise is we want to make sure that you're not throwing your legs up and down. So the heels will stay tight, the toes will stay tight, and the tummy stays nice and tight as well. But we're just making sure we're not crunching through the waist. So you want to make sure you're not throwing your legs up and down. We've got just a few more here. So last 5, last 4, last 3, last 2, And last one, just lowering those legs down. We're just slowly going to bend your knees. We're going to have about a 30-degree bend in your knee, and you want to have your heels, hips, and shoulders in line. From here, we're going into the clamp. So with this exercise, we're just going to keep the heels nice and tight. You're going to lift your knee up and then slowly lower the leg back down. So squeezing the knee up and then slowly lowering back down. I like to use my right hip hand here just to feel, to make sure that as you lift the knee up, that the hips don't go with the legs. So the only thing that should be moving is the knee that's slowly floating up and down with this one. So keep the heels nice and tight. We've got our last 5, last 4, last 3, last 2, and last 1. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to just keep the same movement of the knee, but we're going to take the whole leg up this time. So slowly lowering the leg down and then lifting the whole leg up. So with this exercise, I want you to think about keeping your heel the same height as your knee as you slowly lift and lower. Again, making sure that there's no rotation through those hips. So those legs stay they stay level. The abdominals are activated. We've got 4 more. Last 3, last 2, and last 1. I'm just having a rest there for a second. We just have to finish with our circles. So we've got 10 in each direction. So we're going to lift that leg up, take it back behind, and then lower down and back forward. So we've got 9 more, keeping those hips stacked. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just resting there for just a second. We've got our circles just in the reverse direction to finish with. So we're going to take the leg back, out, and around. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then just lowering that leg down. We're going to have a lay back down. We're just going to do that glute stretch that we did earlier. So left hand on top of your right knee, taking that leg across the body, stretching the arm out. Beautiful work. All right, we're going to come into a second round of our front support exercises. So this time, we're going to set up for some push-ups. So we're going to set up with your wrists underneath your shoulders, and our legs are going to be nice and tight. You can always do these with your knees on the ground. So we're going to aim for 5 push-ups. They're going to be tricep in, so elbow in. So we're going to slowly lower down, bending the elbow into the rib cage. We're going to exhale as we press. That's 1. Inhale as we lower, bending the elbows in. Exhale as we press. That's 2. We've got 3 to go. Inhale as we bend. Exhale as we press. You've got 2 to go. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press. Last one. If you're on your knees, see if you can come up to your toes for your last one. And then pressing back up. And we're just going to hold it. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Take those knees out wide, drop that chest down. Stretching the arms out in front. Beautiful work. All right. We're going to do our glute series on the other side. So we're going to lay down. We're going to have a nice long spinal position. Now you can have your arms stretched out underneath, or you can have your head propped up. We want to have our hips stacked, our shoulders stacked, our heels and toes are tight. We're going to go into our double leg lift. So we're going to lift those legs up, stretching them away, and then slowly lower back down. So stretching away and then coming back down. Keeping nice and long through the waist and keeping your hips stacked. We've got 8 to go. So making sure that we're not crunching through that side body. So keeping the tummy tight, but keeping it nice and long. So you want as much distance between your ribs and your hips as possible. We've got 3 to go. Last two, and last one. Beautiful work. Just bending those knees in. So we want about a 30-degree bend at the knee. Our hips, shoulders, and heels are all in line, and we're going into our clams. So we're just going to be squeezing the heels together, squeezing your knee up, and then slowly lowering it back down. So heels stay tight, hips stay stacked. Exhaling as we lift, inhaling as we come back down. So making sure that there's no rotation through those hips. So you want to keep your tummy on, lifting through pelvic floor, drawing in through TAs. We've got our last 5, last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful work. So we're going to move on to our whole leg lift. So we're going to keep that left knee bent, and we're just going to float the whole leg up and then lower it back down. So whole leg comes up and then back down. So keeping stacked through those hips, digging deep through the abdominals. You can use that left hand in front for support, or you can keep it on top of your hip just for feedback as to where you are in space. We've got our last 5 from now. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we've got our circles to finish with on this side. So we're going to go circles forward and then circle back, 10 in each direction. So we're going to lift the whole leg up, back, behind, and then back in. So we've got 9 to go. Keeping your hips stacked, keeping the tummy on, making sure that as you draw your circles, that your leg isn't falling down. So you're keeping nice and controlled in both directions. We've got our last 5, last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful work. All right, we have got the opposite direction to finish with. So the leg's just going to be lifted. We kick it back, behind, up, and forward. Behind, up, and forward. We've got our 8 to go. Last 7, 6, 5, 4, nice and slow, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful work. Just having a lay back down onto your back. We're just going to pop your right hand on the top of that left knee, and we're just going to take that knee across the body. Stretching into that left glute, into the lower back, and looking across to the back side of the room. Beautiful work, guys. All right. We're going to come back into center. We're just slowly going to rock ourselves back up. So we're going to go back into rolling like a ball, but we're going to have a few added extras in it. So it's slowly, progressively going to get a little bit more challenging, but I think you guys will be totally fine with it. So we're going to keep our knees nice and tight. Our heels are together. We're going to do 5 of each position. So we're just going to start with hands on to begin with. Tummy on, nice and long through the back of the spine. We're going to inhale, rolling back onto the shoulders, and exhale as we rest up onto the sits bones. Last 4. Last 3. Balancing at the top, keeping the tummy on. Last 2. And last 1. All right, we're just going to go with hands off this time. So we're going to inhale, curl, exhale, scoop. Last 4. Trying to land in the exact same position each time. Last 3, tummy on. Last 2, and last 1. All right, we're going to take our arms out into an aeroplane. We're going to curl down and then come back up. Inhale, scoop, exhale, balance. Inhale and balance. We've got 2 more. Inhale and then balance. Just rolling back onto the shoulders. And last 1. All right, for our final position, guys, we're going to stretch our arms up overhead. We're going to inhale as we come back, exhale as we balance. Last 3. Last 2. And last 1. And balancing up on top. Alrighty, for today we're just going to finish with a thigh stretch. So we're just going to sit up with our knees underneath our hips. Our feet are going to be hip width distance apart. So when you do this one, you want to make sure that your feet aren't together. So they're going to be separated. We're going to stretch our arms out in front. We're going to be nice and long through the spine. If you have any knee sort of issues, you might want to pop a pillow or a cushion underneath your knees. But we're just going to stretch our arms out in front so the spine is long, tummy and bottom are up. We're going to inhale, we're going to slowly lean back. And exhale, we're going to squeeze and come back up. So getting that nice stretch up the front of the thigh. Inhale back, exhale back up. We got 3 to go. So it's nice and slow. Keep the tummy on, keep the bottom on, and then back up. Last 2. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, back up. Last 1. So try and make this one your best one. And then coming back up. And just lowering back down there. And then we're done.